Hello to all of you who clicked this video thinking, that looks like an interesting video. I'll give it 10 seconds before my attention span immediately goes to a cat video that's scaring itself in the mirror. Which, now, I do implore you to watch that because it's hilarious. But today I want to make a case for the best year in cinema, which my friend Adil made a video about Jim Carrey in 1994 on this channel, if you want to go check that out before you watch this. And it's a great answer. But it's not a better answer than Jennifer Lawrence in 2012 because she absolutely smashed it. Like, to the point I'm concerned for her welfare because, like, she's not as big as she was once, like, and doesn't show. I mean, she got that film coming out soon with Leo, which could kind of shoot her back up into the space, but still, where does she go? I mean, that film didn't help. But anyway, I'm going to make a case of why Jennifer Lawrence had the best year in cinema in 2012. Now, to start off with a disclaimer, I really would have loved to have included 2011's X-Men First Class in here to start my argument and to have it run from like a calendar year. However, more important factors happen in 2012, so I can't justify going that in the video. Plus, just to give a little context, the start of her rise actually really starts with 2010's Winter's Bone, as it was like a jump start into getting noticed by a wider audience, and she got an Oscar nod, and then massive exposure with the X-Men. So she was already kind of, like I said before, like she was already here, and she was just ready to like jump straight into the mainstream. And really, these were just stepping stones for her next role, which arguably made her the biggest star in the world, which is The Hunger Games. The Hunger Games, like, god damn, this film blew up. I mean, literally. I mean, it really just... Too soon for that clip. I know it wasn't this film, but you know, still. Anyway, 2012 arrived and along came with it was The Hunger Games, the new young adult dystopian story that had taken the world by storm. Man, there were the days. Remember when everyone thought the world was going to end? I mean, it was really anyone was ever talking about that summer, and it had competition. Like, this film was that successful box office wise. The only films that beat it out was the first crossover event of the Avengers, which, you know, became mildly successful after that, and Christopher Nolan's end of the Dark Knight trilogy, and they both earned over $1 billion.
That's a lot of money.
And like, going back to the competition that year, it was stacked, and I mean stacks on stacks, like the Spider-Man reboot, you know, the end to the Twilight Saga, new Lord of the Rings film that had come out, you know, Seth MacFarlane's directorial debut with Ted, both the Men in Black and the Mission Impossible sequel that were both follow-ups from popular series, and the first proper Alien film since 1997. Yeah, I'm not counting those ones, by the way. And even a James Bond sequel popped up that reignited everyone's love for the world's worst secret agent at staying secret. Like, honestly, how did he even get around? So how did The Hunger Games absolutely smash them out of the water? And why? Well, there's a few things to look at in the film itself, but also other factors aside from you literally couldn't escape it. Like, the marketing campaign was like the kids say, dense? Is that what the kids say? You could not turn your head without seeing some sort of advertisement for the film.
Kids are randomly selected from their home districts to fight in an arena to the death. But we don't drink blood. That's sick.
Wow.
Going back to looking at the big 2012 film release list, there is something that is very apparent. It was actually one of the few movies that was a first original new film that we'd had by far. I mean, without taking original so far as to compare it to Kinji Fukusaka's Battle Royale, but I mean, you get what I mean. This was the freshest concept Hollywood had seen against all this repeat content in a long time. It also helps that the popular book series had started to come to light as soon as the Harry Potter franchise had ended a year prior, and the Twilight films, as I said before, had come to an end that year, which meant there was an opening in the market for a new young adult action series, and this just came right at the right time. Along with a badass young female action heroine taking down the system in a new, interesting sci-fi world, it was everything that people didn't know they needed. And to come full circle back to the marketing and more specifically the press tour, this is where everyone, and I mean everyone, fell in love with Jennifer Lawrence. From the interviews, the pranks, making fun of herself, falling over, gushing about normal non-celebrity stuff, and making everyone laugh where she went, Lauren soon found herself as someone anyone could relate to, and she just skyrocketed to the top of people's hearts for her antics and her general likableness.
Sam, my mom didn't recognize me when she came to visit me on set and walked into the trailer and went, sorry, looked me right in the eyes and went, sorry, and walked out. So I just let her go.
So at this point, we now had a super likable actress off the back of one of the biggest blockbusters of the year, and she had no signs of showing that she was slowing down. And with this, we come down to two films I want to talk about, both released within 2 weeks of each other, which are House at the End of the Street and Silver Linings Playbook. Now, I wouldn't have included House at the End of the Street, but it was like a nice note to add that she added another notch to her resume of what she can capably accomplish as an actress, and I'm sorry to say, not even a popular Jennifer Lawrence is enough to pull that movie up from its deserved mediocre ratings, though it did do well at the box office, considering. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. Now, the main thing I want to talk about is Silver Linings Playbook. Silver Linings Playbook. I don't know which way it's going to look in the edit. Because this film not only boosted her reputation as a great actress with another solid performance showing a dynamic range of acting to her abilities, but she'd won the Academy Award for Best Actress in the role that made her the second youngest actress to ever win the award at 22 years old. Like, the success of The Hunger Games was still full in effect for Lawrence, but this film put everyone on notice to say there is a new star in town. Like, this film took her from great to one of the greats, and now anyone who didn't know who she was beforehand definitely did now. Starring in the world's newest big film franchise and putting in a performance that would win her the Academy Award, becoming one of the youngest people to ever win an Oscar. Now, that's not a bad year. Dill, why don't you bring it back? I know you've got other ideas for other people to see who's going to have the best year in cinema. I've kicked it up a notch. I mean, people might disagree, but that's it. So who do you think has had the best year in cinema? For me, I've got a couple of other contenders that I'm going to make a video on. But if you like this video, please give this a like. Also subscribe to the channel, because we're going to start doing some other new stuff. Like, we've got a podcast where we're messing about with films and plots and just generally having a fun time, especially now that, I mean, all of us in the UK are in lockdown. But, you know, it's one of those things, isn't it? I hope everyone stays safe. I hope you have a good time. I don't know how to end this. I've been Matt Lister from What Pictures. Thank you very much for listening. Stay safe and have a wonderful day/night/whenever you know, if you're watching this late, go to bed. If you're watching this early, what are you doing with your life? I don't know.